the high tide flags which do not break out within that 3 to 5 weeks time frame which the West has said, it actually then becomes a longer base, and that base breakout also at some point of time works as well as a general high tide flag. Okay, so Kilpes at some point of time when it breaks out of this, hopefully with another T, is going to be a really nice this one. Uh, and as I go through all the names, I will also now add some of the nuances which I think one should look at while trading high tide flag. And in the last meeting also I discussed a lot of things. One is that, see, whenever that breakout happens, make sure that the stock is uh, in an outperforming stage, which means the Mars is basically higher than zero. So if you see Kilpes from this point onwards is gone down. So generally those things will take some time to then finally get out of the positive line and then start to fire, right? Cupid has been a little bit of a वो क्या बोलते हैं उसको क्या बोलते हैं disappointment, but again, like, it's okay as long as it's not like this is still fine, this is still a great high tide flag. And the last 3 days volumes have been like actually been getting smaller and smaller, if you see. So which means that the supply is getting less and less, and at some point of time when the actual breakout happens, you will see that the Mars also now crosses back to the 9 EMA. Okay, so I am very confident on this trade and been holding it. uh, so yeah, so this was the trade, and you see there are so many ways to skin a cat, right? One way would have been to enter either on this day, because let's say actually my trigger went off on this day, to be really honest with you guys. This was the trigger, but it squatted and then the next day was the breakout. So one way to trade this would also have been this. But if you see the Mars confirmation, this breakout had a Mars confirmation, and today the follow through, the actual follow through after, so breakout के बाद क्या आएगा? Retest. Sometimes it comes, sometimes it doesn't come, but 50% it comes, right? So after the retest today, this is a huge follow through. And again, this doesn't mean that from tomorrow again like 2 3 like very tall candles will be there. It just means that this breakout has now been successful, and like the probability that this flag ka target materializes at some point of time is become even higher, and also coming from the fact that Swan Energy is from a sector which is like really strong, like reality is really strong right now, right? So that is also a fact which I kept in mind while taking this trade. And so this is basically breakout के बाद retest के बाद जो pullback confirmation trade is something like that, right? So again, there are so many ways to enter the same setup, the same this one. So that is why. So at the beginning of the 25 IDAT flag challenge, what I started off with was giving people a couple of rules, to follow, because rules are always good to start with. Okay, because when there is no rules, then there is nothing. Like there is the entropy is so destructive that people will not learn anything. So that's why it was very important for me to first start with okay, XYZ rules are there. These are very important. So once people know that okay, these are the rules, then you will also know how to bend the rules, right? So something which to learn, and I've been also learning this as I'm going forward in the journey. I don't know why this guy comes in. So Brigade Enterprises. So you see, today would have been an entry. Today would have been a pullback confirmation entry. So ये पोल खड़ा हुआ, पोल के बाद pullback आया, first T. Sometimes first T के बाद ही breakout हो जाता है. But then that's why also this was, I did not want people to take this, because so oftentimes what happens, the first pullback is a very small mast, and small base के बाद जो the breakout comes, that is very choppy, right? But in any case, given the fact that Brigade Enterprise again comes from the realty, which is a very strong sector, and also the volume confirmations is there, this was a very nice entry point. And how could you have entered? Either break of this or break of this, right? So these are the things which will now हाँ बताओ. Yes. But I would say, see, yes, I think, yeah. So I think, see, because this is very high, 935 is very high. So then we'll see like 891 probably can be a good place to enter. But what I would the best thing for this to happen would be like, let's say tomorrow candle would like find some resistance here and then again go for second T, then it is like becomes so much better. Yeah, so BSE again, so nice chart. So if you see that, sometimes when there is a क्या बोलते हैं इसको, when there is a bearish divergence between price and the Mars, sometimes it's also better to like not sort of take that trade. Now imagine what happens right now. When the time comes when the Mars actually starts to go up, that is the time to get into BSE. Now that could happen tomorrow, when we'll have a when there is a bullish candle and then this guy starts to move up, and then possibly when the actual breakout happens from here, the crossback also happens. Now being said that, that is a more confirmed entry. Now for people who can be a little more agile and think that, okay, now I will already anticipate the coming of bullishness right now, that's also a way to go. But like the the point is like, know that like there is nothing 100% probability in these things. Let me just refresh my this one, because every time I push next, Adani is coming. So okay, so DB Realty also, if you see, so there was one entry here, which was sort of the cheat entry, which did not materialize, and now the whole setup is gotten even better. So now if I want to like inculcate some of the learnings live, which we've seen, is that the Mars confirmation is actually a very potent confirmation, and if we most of the entries which do not have the Mars crossback, or like the Mars getting now stronger, they fail, right? So something you should also note, which is basically have a Mars confirmation healthy. Now IMCO Elecon has been again another very big disappointment after this guy. So this is basically base on base. So you had a base breakout happened, and immediately they again started another base. So now you see this guy was a crossback here, and from that onwards then crossback हुआ नहीं है अभी तक. But again, the longer the base, the breakout will be better, so although this is taking some time for people like who are stuck in here, know the fact that like this is again a very strong strong sector, and like at some point of time when the breakout happens, it will be like really high, like the move will be like very strong. Jikre I entered yesterday when this popped up, this tail candle, and after that again 2 days has passed by, and I'm actually very happy with the price action, because you see that people are not selling, and this is a sector and a stock which is right now a young sector, like meaning like you take railways or you take like capital goods, those are the sector whose like probably 50 to 60% run has already happened, although like there is like multi-decadal tailwinds and stuff, but insurance as a sector has just started, like although the move has already been 100%, but we can see that when sectoral tailwinds happen, 100% is just the beginning, right? So 500, 600, 700% might also come. So that is why also I'm very interested in this, and a position has already been made. And my idea would be to get more when the O'Neill breakout happens. Similarly to Nayakal also, I made a position here, and that was a little bit early, sort of like yeah, I can pass it by as saying that okay, it was a cheat entry and stuff, but like, I really wanted to get in here, and that's why I got in. So Angelo Matthews, now you see that this breakout was a very small base breakout, and that's why it like sort of going like this way. And in my opinion, the breakout which now comes from this base will be like the real breakout, and that would also coincide with the crossback of Mars. So watch out for this, and these guys will move together, like BSE, Angel One, and I am just silently hoping that CDSL or not CDSL, CAMS will also like sort of move with them. CAMS is one of my biggest bets right now, so that's the hope. And see, there are so many great setups right now. See, what's happening in Apollo microsystem is that this was some X percentage. That X percentage is now smaller, and this is like T1, T2, T3. It is ready to move. Like again, so now in here, what happens is you will not be able to wait for it to cross this because it's a 5% UC stock, and so just like Jai Balaji, one might like uh, uh, try and get in even before the pivot breakout, and those are things like you cannot wait for the system which we have been following. Now another one which is like very frustrating for many of us was is Prakash pipes, and this is very close to again breaking out. This is also like base on base, so this was the base breakout ke baad pullback and getting tighter and tighter, right? So any sort of pocket pivot day, which is basically this blue colored candle, which is basically more than 3% rise on the highest volume in the last 10 days, right? So that would be another entry trigger. So ITI also is very similar to PPL, but it's inside the base, right? So PPL is somewhere here, but the concept and the idea is the same. A breakout and then like going sideways, and again like I'm very hopeful that all of these guys will break out, like something like what happened in IFCI today, right? Again, GMDC is like T1, T2, T3, and this is another really nice stock. There is nothing to like not like about this. There is a very nice pole. There is a T1. There's possibly a T2. There is a 3T3. Or if you say that okay, this is T1 and this is T2, but any which ways, it's a very nice base. And any breakout of this or right now as well, that would be like an anticipation kind of entry. So what I'm doing now is like sort of relaxing things a bit so that people can be creative with their entries, because honestly like you don't need to follow rule. Like as long as the only rule you follow is like your risk is under what you can stomach, that's the only rule one has to follow, right? Starting at the beginning, like for beginners, rules are very important because they don't know the downside of not having a rule. But once you get into an intermediate stage, like being like very creative with your entries, is one of the defining factors of a trader, in my opinion. So Jayaprakash Power, although I did not put this in the list, I entered on this day because I thought like okay, the 21 EMA is a good support. The 3 days it became tight, and it gave me a decent this one. So my 2T is already done here, to be honest. But I did not get out because now I am going to actually size the position higher, and also coming from a power sector, I think this has legs because the breakout actually hasn't happened yet, right? So similarly with JP Power, JP Associates could also have been entered on this day, and so these are two very similar stocks. Just that JP Power did not break out and it actually found resistance, whereas JP Associate broke out and then now is retesting. So these are very subtle, similar kind of price action which happens, and the hope is now that this also does chuck, and when it breaks out again, that is another point for you to enter or fatten your position. Quick Hill is a outstanding setup right now. Again, this no longer remains a high tide flag, but imagine like this is a prior uptrend, and this is like a cup, and this is like an extended handle, or people like O'Neill would call it the base on base. So there's a base and then another flat base here, and the moment it breaks out any day, this today could have been an early entry for sure, like because the Mars is also starting to trend up, and this is another. So this one, so if you what you will notice in from all our highlight flag sessions, or the way we are doing the highlight flag, is that there is a process, right? And with this process, what I hope you will realize is that you will actually not miss like great stocks, or you will always have one or two stocks which are like ready for you to take this one. So the point trying to make is like, if you trade only high tide flags, you can still like make a very good amount of money, and you will never you will never be out of like trades, like oh मेरे को अच्छा नहीं मिल रहा है, so following a pattern. So this guy never triggered, so hopefully like a double bottom kind of a base it's gonna form. So this guy is a very good flag. So hopefully when this guy breaks out, the Mars confirmation will also be there. Yeah, so see, Talbro sort of triggered this, and then it now failed. So again, like I said, I don't like this guy. I don't like things which sort of slopes up like this inside the base, and also the Mars sort of failed to give you a confirmation. So always. So now I think this is a very nice way to screen your entries, that like अच्छा Mars का confirmation नहीं है तो नहीं लेगा, राइट. टाटा इन्वेस्ट मार्स का कंफर्मेशन नहीं है तो ठीक है, मार्स को टर्न करने तक रोक लो, देन बिकॉज यू नो दैट वंस मार्स टर्न्स दैट okay, there is a real strength coming in. Sasta Sundar, same, like it's getting really nice, everything is nice. 20 and 21 EMA is acting as a really good support, but there is no strength right now evident yet. Fact is like that, like okay, this day was really good, like 10% UC, and that also came off using the Mars cover, and now it's getting tighter, it's getting tighter. It's not bad. And once this again sort of breaks out, one might get an entry for sure. This is also getting better. See, like this is so tight. Again, having a little bit of idea about what this guy does and how is the financials and stuff like that also helps. I don't know anything about it, so I will not like pay really close attention to it. DPSC, this is no longer a flag right now, so I'll take this out. But I just kept it to show you that even if like you track a possible high tide flag and it like no longer ceases to be a flag, you can then get some other opportunities which are as good as trading a high tide flag. So in this case, would have been like the 50 SMA bounce, right? So the day before yesterday when this bounce happened, like you could have made an entry, because like that 50 DMA is like a really good place where people come in and support the price, as well as like you see that this guy is like now trying to move on the positive lane from zero, right? So again, like you see, only tracking one system also helps. AGS Transact was a great small flag on this. Like I said, small base, sometimes they are like not ready to move because there is still supply. So this guy is again like what is basing? Basing is basically digesting the supply, right? So it's still digesting some supply, and like at some point of time it's gonna go up. E-Clerics, amazing name. Right now, someone who buys at support is at a very nice place where one can do this. Ashapurna Mine Camp. Yes, so this is also again very nice. Because this is so small, then I will only for now say that I'll wait for the O'Neill pivot here. आनिक थोड़ा अभी गंदा बन रहा है, बिकॉज लाइक ये अभी लाल करके अभी गिरने वाला है, राइट? सो होपफुली दिस गाय वंस इज ब्रेक डाउन द 50 SMA इज द प्लेस. सो Bhale is getting better and better, but I really want a longer base, like not like 5-6 day base, like. So same again, Birla, I think one can still say it's a high tide flag, but once this guy crosses this zero on the downside, like just wait for it to at least come up. Same, छोटा बेस से गया तो ऐसा हो जाएगा कभी कभी. So now you morph the pattern and say, okay, this fits better. Blipgs, really nice. I have a hunch that pharma will again start to trend back up after this like humongous. A lot of pharma names are making this flag and pole structure now. A lot of them, yeah. And so what happens is that when the money flows back into pharma, then you will see that a lot of pharma names will again start on the same day. Like they'll probably make pocket pivots on the same day. So that would be your also your cue to say that okay, like ठीक है, एक pharma name पकड़ लेते हैं. Doesn't have to be like 5, 10, like one or two, which is the best looking one. Yeah. So this guy also now started to trail back up, and today could have been an entry which is basically start of a momentum kind of entry. Yeah. Yeah, so ICFI was a really nice example of how high tide flags or flag breakouts do not sometimes move like uh, on the go, and they will take some time to process some of the previous moves. So now I think IFK will start to move. Like I'm very optimistic about this. सेम थिंग यहाँ पे. तो एक वन लर्निंग तो निकल के आ रहा है वेरी 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 क्लियरली दैट वन शुड ऑलवेज वेट फॉर सम सम साइज ऑफ द बेस. 4-5 दिन का बेस से मतलब बहुत तकलीफ होता है. इट्स वेरी डिफ़िकल्ट टू गेट अ प्रॉपर मूव. So yeah, Jay Balaji, I think you guys had already seen my message, because this was sort of a day when there was a little bit of a strength coming in. I sort of anticipated and entered early because I knew that when the actual strength comes in, it's going to be very difficult to like get back in. So this is what I was. This phenomena is what I'm trying to tell. What I mean when I say that, like one has to be a little bit not by the book guy sometimes, and थोड़ा सा इधर like टेढ़ा काम भी कर सकते हैं. As long as you know that your risk पे you cannot like do टेढ़ा काम. But apart from risk, you can do Teda Kam. So you see Jindal photo. I think I entered on this day. Okay, this day when after this 1, 2, 3 T fired, and like this guy is so frustrating me. I thought like okay, इस दिन से के बाद भागेगा, इस दिन के बाद भागेगा. Like there is no strength coming in. But again, I have also learned a little bit about patience, and when this guy sort of will turn up when it'll turn up like a 20%, right? So that day all the holding during this period is going to be fine. So again, that's why you also have to have a mix of stocks, like not like put all your eggs in one basket. See, there has to be a middle ground, right? You can't put all your eggs in one basket. You cannot also like diversify like in 100 baskets. So there has to be a number, right? So if you hold 10 stocks, one of them is Jindal photo, and 5 of them are doing well. So then you can be like, okay, ठीक है, Jindal का भी time आएगा types. See, same thing, like small base breakout. It sort of went up, but it did not materialize. And again, this guy has become better now. So not exactly better, but it's still there is like buying at this level. Small base, again small base. MBL Infra. So MBL Infra, see what happened. The thing here is now it's a bigger base. So the base itself was like at least 19 bars, 30 days. So this is a very nice base, and when you saw this bar, and this bar, like yesterday, this was a pocket pivot yesterday. You could have like sort of anticipated some kind of entry. And again, the problem with the small 5% UC names is that you cannot get in and get out soon. So see, MCX, thoda sa the relative strength is like now getting weaker and weaker. Although it's a very strong stock, but the relative strength is now like coming in. So at some point of time when it does this, let me draw it for you. So ऐसे करके, then when this happens, that is the time you can enter somewhere here. and maybe the timeline is not really really correct. Could happen here or here or here, but you see the cue which is very important for you to place your trade. Modi Sun, same story, breakout and then retest. See, at least like 40 to 50, in my opinion, 60% breakouts retest in some form or another. Okay, so always. So Murudeshwar Ceramics, I don't know how long this base is, but it's really good. But again, wait for the breakout of this cheat pivot. So see, cheat is a breakout entry basically. Don't be entering here and say, oh, I entered cheat. Yeah, no, because it can also break down, right? So we don't know, and you have a, if you really want to enter here, you can have a GTD here, and then you'll get in. But you see, there is the relative strength is like now gone, so it has to at least cross zero. See, Nitco doing what I thought Nitco would do. So the moment it like becomes like a ascending thing inside the base, like it becomes very difficult. And also, this is not a good setup right now. Uh, why? You see, what is this? This is volume. So itna volume, matlab, although uh, it's getting absorbed, but like what's the possibility that more volumes are not gonna come, right? So always that is why getting some form of confirmation. Omex has also been like a dart right now. Like this guy has been so frustrating. But again, like I'm hopeful because it hasn't actually broken down yet, right? So we'll see. So 1 point solution, I actually got in here. This is like something like a experiment kind of an entry, here or here. I forgot, but hasn't worked, right? So that again re-emphasizes the point that like wait for a breakout, man. Um, what's next? Yeah, so this guy is getting better now. So I like this because this would act as a क्या बोलते हैं उसको शेक आउट राइट सो पीपल हु हैव ऑलरेडी लाइक एंटिसिपेटेड कि ये ऊपर जाएगा यहाँ पे देर मोस्ट लाइकली देर stop loss would be around here like below the 10, below the 21 EMA, or below this previous candle, so they would have been clipped and now gone up. So the setup per se has become better. Prestige, yeah, so this kind of is very frustrating, and like this sloping up thingy with chick 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 chick, it's very frustrating. So now you see this candle could have been a great entry. This would be like a low cheat entry or a pullback confirmation entry, right? And sometimes when the pullbacks are like deep money, like high tide flat ka deep is 25%. So this guy is like right at the edge, and sometimes the T1 entry, the confirmation entry after T1 is more lucrative when you can find setups where the T1 itself is like that 25% deep, right? Because you know that once it gets to O'Neill pivot, you have at least like 15 to 20%, right? So yeah, so this was a very nice entry here. Whoever took it, yeah. This one. I was saying this day. हाँ हाँ, मार्स का इंडिकेटर आज हुआ, बट लाइक again, like every time, see, this is also again following the rule book wise. Yeah. Yeah, so again today could have been another entry, because but here I would say that if you see this as a cheat entry, and which this is a cheat entry because you have a very tight area, one to ये wick के अंदर दो, it's like an inside bar tight area. So rather than this would have been a more lucrative one in my opinion. And also because the fact that you still have like a 16-17% until the O'Neill pivot. Yeah, again today's entry is also a valid entry, because if you take this you will have like a 5%, you will have a 5% stop loss. And this also there is a Mars Cavo. uh, there is a crossover here. Anyways, so yeah, some really other really good this one, Anand Rathi is a decent setup. The base size is also really like okay. 10 days it's like touch and go. Would love to this to be a bigger one, so, and looks like it will be a bigger one. So because today you had this one, supply आया, तो maybe let's say the second T, and if this is exactly how it plays out, then this will be a really high probability setup. Keep it is also a high probability setup, like very high probability setup. Like इधर से अगर निकल गया बंदा, तो I think there will be another rally, like towards 2000, like, because this is a really nice setup. And again, this was the day the Kotak news came, and like I hate them, man. Like this is clearly like. Um, so this is another pharma name which has been setting up really nice. One of the best flag you can find in the market. Like one of the best. Like this is what one you can define it as like a perfect flag. Like there is nothing you can find fault in this flag. And so whenever this guy crosses the high, you just get in there. That's it. Navkar is another guy setting up, but it looks like it might do another contraction like this, something like this. It might do. And so that would be my place. Radico Shaitan also setting up really well, and I would say this would be my pivotal point. And a lot of Adani names are really setting up nicely, and a lot of them today or even yesterday gave that first pullback entry wala thingy, right? So Adani Ensol right now is not triggered yet, but tomorrow could trigger. So Adani Green today was a pullback entry. What is the pullback entry? So every day it's been pulling back and making sort of lower highs. Today it made a lower low, higher low, higher high. So today was a valid pullback entry, like valid, like this is the way to trade pullbacks, okay? And if you had entered even like at the day end 1509, you would have gotten like 10%, around 10%, less than 10% of stop loss. And if sometimes 10% is like too much for you, then go to the 30-minute time frame. 30-minute time frame would also have been giving you similar this one only. Sometimes you get a better one, okay? So yeah, you can make use of that as well. But people who are hunting for entries like this, they generally don't wait for this. They basically enter when the previous high is taken out. So their entry would have been at around 1468 or thereabouts, and in that case their stop loss would be like lower. I think 7% is fine for something like. So Adani Power today was the pullback entry, okay, and again, like this thing is getting longer. The 25 trades is getting longer and longer. So you guys can take any kind of trades you want now. I don't want to stretch this for a longer period of time, and because this is also a valid entry, ATGL no entry as of now, but tomorrow could get, like when this today's highs is been taken out. Imami Realty, one of the nicest flag, like one of the, like this is so nice, like this is so good, like, and you just wait for this guy to get taken out. That's it. And sometimes appearance of my triple B candle also helps, because it tells you that, like, on this day strength started to come back in. So this is also like a warning ki aega. SR shipping, this is also like, I think today would have been a cheat entry of sorts, because you see one two three very tight closing and similar highs, and either this could have been this one. And so volumes also confirmed today. Hall is getting tighter and tighter, but I really am, sometimes I'm very not comfortable trading this very, like, um, yeah, just not comfortable like trading at this level. I would want a decent base, at least like one sort of contraction, and that would make it a little easier for me. But again, tracking to like learn more things, more stuff. PCBL today is it was an amazing entry. This was essentially a pullback entry, and also the volumes was also really great. The triple B also appeared, and as you can see, Mars is also now curling back, right? So this was a peak entry. Senko sort of squatted, but again, I'm telling you, this guy is ready. Like, don't see. You can build a system around how to deal with squats, and the most simplest system would be like, let's say you entered at 793, which was breaking out, and by the end of the day, you see that okay, this guy is squatted. So what you can do, one is like sell 50% uh, when around the day close, sell 50%, because if this guy takes another 5 or 6 days to again form and then break out, then you'll know that 50% money could be like spent somewhere else, or just trust your stops, right? Because anyways, when you were entering, you knew that like the full position was also under control, your risk was under control. So I'm positive about this. And also when you see other jewelry names setting up, then you also get extra conviction that ठीक है, एक ना एक दिन फटेगा. Okay, so those were the names which I had already, and so today's name I actually haven't, but एक या दो ही आएंगे, and they will also not be like set up. So these are pretty much the names, and I hope that I think today is like 2 weeks, 3 weeks on. I hope you guys are learning something, some new stuff, and the knowledge or the experience of trading high tide flags can also directly be transferred into trading any kind of base breakout or any kind of small flags also. So I think it'll help there. Questions? So pocket pivot, yeah. So pocket pivot is defined by this guys, Chris Catcher and Jill Morales, and I'll tell you how they defined it. Okay, so pocket pivot is a candle. Um, so let's say Sean Energy had a pocket pivot day today. So pocket pivot is a candle which has at least 3%. So today this guy was 7.9, on this day was also 7.29. So at least 3%, and the second requirement is that the volumes on that day should be higher than the highest red day in the last 10 days. So the last 10 bars in here would be this 3%. 3%, higher than 3%. The price is more than 3%. A, the price is more than 3% on that day, and the volume is higher than the highest red day in the last 10 days. Now, some people, this 10 days, for some people, they define as 20 days, which is fine, you know. But that's the standard definition of pocket pivots, and pocket pivots are really good entry techniques because you see a lot of start of momentum. If you just see Swan Energy here, so this was my Khela Obe candle, but even if you did not enter this, if you entered like this momentum burst started with the pocket pivot. This momentum burst started with a pocket pivot. Probably a longer momentum burst starting with a pocket pivot. So pocket pivot as a visual, this one is a very good visual cue to tell you that the probability of what is that momentum burst is higher. Yeah, these are just two conditions. Yeah, again some people can say that okay मेरे को 3% नहीं चाहिए 2.5 होने से भी चलेगा. Some people will be like नहीं नहीं मेरे को 4% चाहिए. So that doesn't matter. 2 and 4% doesn't matter. Like it just means that like there is some bullishness in there. Hi Neeraj. Huh. This is a good question. So I will be speaking more about this tomorrow, but I'll tell you the difference very quickly here. The Khelaobe candle starts after a contraction. Okay, so if you see in Cupid, this candle is a pocket pivot because it is more than 93%. The volume is also higher than the last 10 day ka red volume, but this is breakout from a tight area, from a contraction. So what I have, the way I have coded this is that I don't want any pocket pivot to become Khela Hobe. I want the pocket pivot which is coming out of a tight area because then it's a breakout, right? So it basically exploits a very ever repeating phenomena in the market, which is contraction, expansion, and this is basically Cupid expanding, contracting, then expanding, then again contracting. And if the pocket pivot is coming out of a contraction, that becomes the Khelaobe candle. And in this case also, if you see, this was a coming out of a very contracted area, and that is the Khelaobe, and here, but these guys are not, because this is already on an upswing. This is already like expanding, correct? So now the Khelaobe candle doesn't have a requirement of 3%. It just has to come out of the contraction. Great. So by Khelahobe is a breakout of the contraction. It doesn't have to be like 3%, 4%. Yeah, yeah. So this is like very fine tuned, and putting a lot of thought has gone into designing this. Yeah. Thanks for the question. Hi Raj, you have a question? Yes. I think 2 weeks ago I wrote it. But tomorrow would be like a breakdown, like nothing else. So please join tomorrow 8:30. I will also show back-tested results of the Khelabe candle. Yes, Raj, you have a question? Okay. All right, guys. Has chemical stocks bottomed out? Very difficult question, Siddhant. But I do believe that they are going to come out of stage one basis. So 50% have stopped the downtrend, and 50% are starting to come out of, are starting to gain momentum. So things like Arati, Clean Science, they are starting the uptrend, and some other names are stopping the downtrend. So people will notice more in like couple of months, I think, 2 3 months. Yes, Balaji amines look good. So does alkyl amines. Yes, Siddhant sir, मत बुलाइए sir, please. Okay, okay, guys. If there are no more questions, I will stop here, and I'll see some of you tomorrow, 8:30 p.m. Bye bye. Thank you, guys. See you. See you.